Here we are up in 5.3 looking at problem number 11, and we're given this trinomial and asked which one of these forms, this one or this one, is the correct factorization. Well, let's just test them out by multiplying through. Now look at this one here, 2x times x. There's our 2x squared, so that part's okay. But look at this negative 7x. That comes from the outer product and the inner product, adding those together. So this outer product is positive, right? Positive 2x, positive 4. Positive 8x minus x is plus 7x. We got a minus here. So this one does not work. Let's try the next one here. So in this case, we've got the 2x squared. We're good there. Now look at this one. We've got negative 8x plus x. Let's write it out here. So the outer product is negative 8x and then plus x. All right? That's a plus 7x. And then the last, positive 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. So this factorization right here is the correct one. And we found that just by multiplying. In problem 13, we're given this trinomial and asked which of 4 forms, 1, 2, 3, 4, is the correct one. Let's actually just go ahead and try to factor this. So first of all, I notice that there's nothing in common. There's no number in common, no constant, and no variable in common. So let's write our 2 sets of parentheses, anticipating we can get this. Now, here's where it differs from the last section. In the last section, we had a coefficient of 1. So it was easy. It was just y and a y. But now we don't have a 1. We have a 4. Now, here's what we could do. We could get a 2 and a 2, or a 4 and a 1, right? There's different ways to get that. And then we have to match that up with our 35. So let's try this. I'm going to call this method of good guessing. So I'm going to make some guesses here. So with the 4y squared, we can get that with a 4y and a y. Also a 2y and a 2y. Now, I don't know which ones to try here, so we'll just have to go with something. But now let's go with the 35. The 35, we could go with 35 and 1 and 7 and 5. I think those are all the factors of 35. So what I have to decide here, what we have to decide is which one should I use? Which pair? This pair or this pair? This pair or this pair? Now, we don't really know, so we'll make a good guess. And what I found over doing many of these is that I have to start someplace, and I'm going to start with a pair that's closest together. Now, the twos, those are matches, so that's closer together than the 4y and the y. Now, it may work, it may not, but I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to try this, 2y and 2y. And then, for the 35, I'm going to go with this pair because it's closer. These two are closer together. Now, it doesn't matter where I put the 7 and the 5 because they're both 2's here. So how about if I just put the 7 here and the 5 here? Now I know I'll get the 4y squared, and I know I've got that one, and I know I've got the 35. I just have to worry about this. We'll look at that number we know is going to come from the outer product and the inner product. Now the way I've written mine here, here's a 10y and a 14y when I multiply. 10y and 14y. 10 and 14, I can't get a 23 out of that. So this is not going to work. So we can scratch that one off. And let's try then. All right, 2 new sets of parentheses. Let's go with the 4y and the y, so we can try that. So let's put in a 4y and a y. Now if we try this, what I need to look for is which one am I going to use here? 35 and 1 or 7 and 5? So I'm going to try the pair that's closest together. Now the question is, where do I put the 7? Do I put it here or do I put it here? Well, I don't really know. So let's just try something. This is going to be method of good guesses, and you hope you make a good guess before too many poor ones. So let's see what would happen if we put the 7 over here and the 5 over here. Now, what's our outer product and the inner product? So the outer product is 20y and 7y. So 20y and 7y, I can't get a 23 out of that. So this is not going to work. All right, well, let's keep going. We won't get discouraged here. Let's write another set of parentheses. And we'll still go with the 4y and the y because the other possibility is this. Instead of putting the 7 here and the 5 here, let's put the 7 here and the 5 here and see what happens. So now I'll put the 5 over here, the 7 over here, and just see if this has got a chance. Look at the outer and inner products. 28y and 5. 28 and 5, we can get a 23 out of that. I think we've got it. All we have to do is get the right signs now. So the 35 is negative, so these two numbers have opposite signs, and I'm going to put this middle plus sign with the bigger of the two products. And the way I've written mine, the outer product is 28. This is only 5. So I'm going to put the plus sign here. That'll give me positive 28 minus 5 is positive 23. And if I run through a quick check, I'm going to have 4y squared, 28y minus 5y, 23y minus 35, and we've got it. Number 17, we're given a partial factored form here. So first of all, notice there's nothing common between the 6, 7, and 14. There's an A and an A, but no A B and a B and no B. So nothing common all the way through. Now, here's what they've started for us already. So with this 6, that leading 6, now we can get a 6 like this. We can use a 6 and a 1, a 3 and a 2. Now they have already chosen the 3 and the 2 for us, right? They've chosen that. You can see that they've put that right in here, the 2. So we have to go with the 3. So we're supposed to finish this. So we already have the 2, so what has to go over here is going to be the 3a. And now they've got the 7, right? They've already chosen the 7 for us. So look over here at this 14, right? That 14 at the end. The 14 we can get with a 14 and a 1 or a 7 and 2. And they have already chosen for us the 7. Right? They've already chosen the 7b for us. So what we're going to have here is we have to choose the 2. Right? They've already gone with part of this. So we're going to have to choose the 2. So the 2 must go here and be a 2b. Now let's just be sure we've got this. Let's just run a quick check here. So this is going to be 6a squared. We've got that. Look at the outer product and the inner product. The outer product is 4ab, 21ab. 21 and 4, if I subtract, I can get down to 17. 7b and 2b is a 14b, but the 14 is negative. Opposite signs. Already got a plus sign here. Only way this is going to happen is for this to be a minus. And if you multiply that out, sure enough, we're going to get back to our original. So we'll claim that's the correct factorization. Let's go with number 23. There's nothing common all the way through here. So let's start this by writing our two sets of parentheses, anticipating we can do this. And now what I see here is the 4. So here's the way I can get the 4. The 4 I can get with a 4 and a 1 or a 2 and a 2. Now what I'm going to try here, just because they're closest together, are the 2 and the 2. So I might try a 2w and a 2w. And now the 5, the only way I can get that 5 is a 5 and a 1. And it doesn't matter where I put the 5, right? Because both of these are 2, so the 5 can go with either one. So if I go with a 5 here and a 1 here, I don't think this is going to work, is it? Look at the outer product and the inner. 2 and 10. I can't get a 9 from a 2 and a 10. All right, so this is the only way I can get a 5 is 5 and a 1. So the 2 and the 2 apparently don't work for us. All right, so let's try the other pair that we have. Let's go with the 4w and the 1w. And now we'll go with the 5 and the 1. The question is, where do we put the 5? Where do we put the 1? Now, if I put the 5 over here and the 1 here, look what's going to happen. I'll get a 20 and a 1. I can't get a 9 out of a 20 and a 1. So that's not going to work. But we won't give up yet. We'll just switch. We'll get 4w, w. Let's put the 5 here and the 1 here. Now what we're looking at is 4w and 5w. There's our 9w. Get the signs. This 5 is positive, so these two numbers have the same sign, which is that plus sign right there. Put that in, and there is our factored form.